Hi, I'm Tiffany Johannes with REMAX Executive and Charlotte Home Experts, as well as Canopy Housing Foundation Board. Today, I'm here to talk with Katie Gutner about changed choices. She has been instrumental in a program that really is making a huge difference in many women's lives across our community. Welcome, Katie. Thank you so much for being a part of such a wonderful organization called Changed Choices. Tell us a little bit about Changed Choices and what you do for them.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you guys for having us. Changed Choices provides wraparound service and support for women, primarily in Mecklenburg County, from arrest to reentry. And for that, for us, it means wraparound being we are there step by step with case management and individualized programming to help women be successful as they move back once completing their sentences into the Mecklenburg Charlotte community.
That's incredible. Tell me a little bit about how Changed Choices started. It's been around, I think, since 1999, right?
It has. Our anniversary is in June, which is just mind-blowing to us. In 1999, we began with what we like to call the first yes. Our founder, Ruth Snyder, answered a call from the chaplain at the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office and Detention Center, MCSO as we call it. He knew he could reach out to Ruth. Two young women, 16 years old, had just been charged with murder and were absolutely terrified. And he reached out to Ruth to say, could you come sit with them and provide some support? And Ruth will be the first to tell you that the girls she met are not what she would thought who she would meet. They were scared, completely consumed with what was going to happen next, not knowing. And so it began as volunteer counseling. And then Ruth began recruiting friends and church members to provide that counseling ongoing. At that point, as women left MCSO and go to complete their state or federal prison sentences, they wanted to continue that relationship. And so Changed Choices as a nonprofit was born in 2005 to be able to provide that ongoing case management. We call it CARE, which is Comprehensive Approach to Reentry, from the time they're serving till about 2 years post-release, helping with all the things that go with reentry and coming back into the community.
That is incredible, offering services and care to help these women come back into society and really have the tools and resources they need to be a very productive and healthy citizen, which is an incredible opportunity. I know as we've been through COVID and the pandemic, there's been a lot going on in the prison systems. And we were talking before we got started here about a walk that you've set up so that you can, one, raise money, and two, just let everyone get a feel for what incarceration's been like over the last year since pandemic started.
Absolutely. I was saying before, I think we all kind of got a glimpse of a very different life over the last year. We had the opportunity to hopefully be in a home where we were secure and had the things that we needed while we were in isolation, trying to mitigate the pandemic. For our incarcerated clients, that was on a scale we probably can't imagine. As they shared with us over the last year, 23 hours a day was the length of time that they were in their cells most of the time. For some of them, it was 23 hours a day, just one day. And then the others, it was 24 hours a day. So for us, that translates into 1 hour a day outside of their cells. And for some of them, it was every 3 days. And so that 1 hour became something that really resonated with our staff because it was such a precious thing for them to try to help mitigate a circumstance that they had no control over. You know, COVID wasn't starting in the prisons, it was being brought in. And so it's a situation that was completely out of their control, but it's what needed to be done to try to mitigate the virus within the facilities. And so we took that hour and we have used it as really the linchpin of our Her Walk to Freedom. It's traditionally an event that we do in the spring. It's a luncheon to share our programming, but as everyone else had to do, we just kind of had to think outside the box. And so to be able to incorporate our supporters who are all over the country, former clients who are all over the country, we decided to make it a virtual event. So the week of April 11th through the 16th, we're encouraging supporters to walk 1 hour outside in honor of our incarcerated clients. And our goal is to raise $50,000 for our care programming. Individualized case management is extremely effective for most people returning to after finishing a prison sentence. Probably 40% of them repeat, or it's a recidivism rate. Our clients, it's less than 4%. But case management on an individual basis is something that is effective, but it's also not as inexpensive as just hoping that something happens. That case management is something that we want to be able to really, really provide for each individual woman as they come through.
And one thing that you said that really resonated with me, Katie, was 40% are repeat offenders. Mm-hmm. But in your program of Change Choices, it's 4%. 4% is just incredible. It shows how much you put into the care program. And I understand there's Care 1 and Care 2. And Care 1 starts while you're incarcerated, and Care 2 carries forward afterwards. And it takes volunteers and commitment on the case management side. Tell us a little bit about the volunteers. I love Her Walk to Freedom, and I plan on participating and being a part of that. But also, I think that others might be interested in helping you from a volunteer standpoint as well. Tell us a little bit about how the community can assist you or get involved in helping.
Absolutely. One of the things we decided to do was create something called a journey team. So it's a way to utilize peer-to-peer fundraising to share the message of Change Choices with people who might not know us. You can access that on our website, and there's a place to learn more about Her Walk to Freedom and how to set up a journey team. And it's our peer-to-peer platform to be able to encourage others to learn a little bit about us and participate in that event. Volunteer opportunities, volunteers, I know so many nonprofits say they're the lifeblood of their organization, but for us, that we could not do what we do without them. We're a staff of part-time and full-time employees, but to be able to provide the reach that we do, we really utilize volunteers. Now, those opportunities have been a little different this past year, but the lifeblood of what we do is that correspondence and support that we provide incarcerated women through writing. We have a card writing list each month to be able to send information and encouragement into the women. Time and again they've shared. It's almost as if it's a God thing when certain words of encouragement show up at certain times that people need them. And with there not being any in-person visits over the last year, that correspondence back and forth with our volunteers has just been such a godsend for each of them. We also are always looking for volunteers who are just ready to answer the call in a moment's notice. One of the things that COVID also did was increase our released clients very unexpectedly. So we had 2 clients who were both moved to halfway houses who needed winter coats. One was going to a very cold location, and you don't realize that you leave with just about nothing. You leave with your 2 uniforms that you got and your boots that are steel-toed. So if you need anything for moving back into real life, we have volunteers who answer those calls, who can get to a Kohl's and find a good coat and put together a bag at a moment's notice. That is always something that's super helpful for us. And then when we get to go back into the jails, there are so many opportunities with our programming, mentoring, and counseling in the Mecklenburg County system. That volunteer process has some training that goes along with it, but it's such a unique experience to be able to provide that support to women through this process. And our volunteers are just integral to that piece of it.
That sounds really incredible. The opportunities that a volunteer has, whether it's writing letters or fulfilling the needs of a newly released inmate and back into society and helping them gain their force. And you also have a home that has 6 beds that your organization, Change Choices, owns and helps incarcerated victims going from in jail life to living on the outside, becoming a thriving member of our community as part of that Care 2 process. And to me, that's absolutely incredible. And that's actually how I got to know Katie's organization, Change Choices, is through our Canopy Housing Foundation and some of the grants that we've provided them over the years to assist with that home. And just the stories that she's telling really hit home in terms of helping people be better and to get to where they need to be to help, because a number of women who are in prison today are mothers as well. And so when you're helping the mothers, you're also helping the children.
Absolutely. Housing is something that has come to the forefront, I think, for all of us, especially during the pandemic. But it really is a linchpin when it comes to whether you're going to be successful with reentry. Some women just spend one night at the Ruth Snyder home because that's what gets them to a family member coming to pick them up and starting the reentry process for them. Some women have been there for a year or 18 months because that's the process they needed. When we first started, we had women housed in scattered apartments throughout Mecklenburg County, and we realized that we needed a place where we knew they could always land, that we could, in 24 hours, have a process ready to go for someone and provide respite. Respite is another piece that's so important. To go from a life of every decision being made for you to suddenly having to make every decision in your day is a huge transition, depending on how long you've spent incarcerated. And to be able to have a place for them to rest and feel repaired and continue to grow the connections with their family, grow the connections with their children, and also just create self-care. That those pieces of really being rested as you go into those next steps. Most of our women are employed within 30 days post-release. They have done the work while they were incarcerated to get certifications and job opportunities while they were doing their time, and are so motivated to get to whatever that next step is. We had a client who was released about a month ago, and last week she started a brand new job. 3 weeks out, job was what was most important. She has an unbelievable support system in her family who helped with driver's license pieces and transportation, but that is what she wants to do. She wants it to be her, self-motivated, and getting all those things done. And the Ruth Snyder home played a part for a couple of weeks while she was getting settled. And now we'll be ready for what we anticipate to be is 12 releases in 2021. But anticipating
that says a whole lot. And like you said, with COVID and the changed guidelines, sometimes you're seeing people come out very quickly that you didn't expect for a period of time. And so helping them adapt to that, because they're not thinking they're going to be released that quickly, and their families, and just reentry to society and that stabilization that's needed has been tremendous. When I think about you saying 40% are repeat offenders versus 4% in Change Choices, you can tell your organization's made a huge difference. in a number of women's lives and children's lives over the course of the last 20 plus years. And her walk to freedom, the walk that you're doing for next week, I encourage anyone who's listening to really step up and form a team. And whether you virtually walk together or socially distance and walk together, put your team together and have a conversation around it. It's all about having the conversation, understanding what's going on, and learning more so that you can make a difference in your community. Much like Katie is with her daily life of helping with change choices, we can all take the time out to make a difference in our community and help others and give them a hand up so they can help the next person. Katie, is there anything we haven't talked about or you'd like us to share before we let you get back to your good work?
Absolutely. One of the things that's recently just come across in North Carolina, there was an ACLU lawsuit based upon conditions within the facilities in North Carolina in the state prisons and the jails and detention centers. And so about a month ago, everyone was notified that there will be 3,500 releases in the next 6 months. And so we are trying to be as prepared as possible. We don't know if those will be our clients who are affected, because women typically make up about 10% of the prison population. But we are excited and ready to do whatever we can. And we just ask for you guys to join us in that.
Nothing like a quick computer glitch when you're live.
It's the story of our lives these days, Tiffany, right?
Yes, that is true. You're talking about the ACLU and the lawsuit, and I'm sure a number of people heard. I did not hear all of it, but I will go back and listen myself. Is there anything else you'd like to add to it?
No, we just thank everybody for listening to our story and listening to the story of these unbelievably amazing women, and knowing that everyone's journey is going to be different, but these highly motivated, exceptional women that we work with want what's best for them and wants what's best for their children and want to be part of the community in whatever way. So check out our website to learn more about what we do. And thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, Katie, for what you do every day and for everyone in your organization who's making a huge difference. We encourage everyone to go out to changechoices.org, sign up for Her Freedom Walk. Think about volunteering. Can you write letters? Do you want to be more involved? There's so many different opportunities to assist here. Just another great opportunity in our area. Step up and help make a difference in our community. Thank you so much, Katie, and everyone at Change Choices. I appreciate your time today. Again, Tiffany Johannes and Katie here talking about Change Choices. If you have any questions regarding this opportunity, please don't hesitate to reach out to us or go directly to Change Choices. I'm Tiffany Johannes with RE/MAX Executive, Charlotte Home Experts, and of course, the Housing Opportunity Foundation at Canopy. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you have a great one and enjoy your week.